All right, everybody, we have one more video to do, and that will be the video where I just quickly show you all ERIC, Sociological Abstracts, and JSTOR. Now, ERIC and Sociological Abstracts, ERIC and Sociological Abstracts are both offered to us through a vendor called ProQuest. So even though it will search kind of similar to EBSCO, it looks different, so I will show those separately. And then JSTOR is its own database and vendor. So if we go to databases, ERIC is an educational database, so you would look for that under education. Sociological Abstracts is a sociology database, so you would look for it under sociology. Now, you can also search by by database name. So you can find Sociological Abstracts under the S, you can find ERIC under the E. We are actually going to go to the E now and look at ERIC. So you've got ERIC offered through ProQuest. That's the one you want to use. And ERIC is a good database because it doesn't just feature research from academics in magazines and trade publications like Educational Full Text does. ERIC also includes government reports and other government documents. ERIC is actually run or compiled by the Department of Education. So let's say we did counseling, and we would keep our and we can also do, again, just for the hell of it here, elementary. So what you are going to want to use for your purposes, if you're not going to leave it as this default keyword, which anywhere is a keyword search, and that means if it's anywhere in the record or the full text, it will pull that back. If you want to narrow down and look specifically for things that are about counseling and about elementary, then you're actually going to want to, for your purposes, you can get away with using the SU. You don't have to do the main subject or the ERIC subject. You can if you want. You can experiment with those if you like, but you can also keep it basic and just use the SU itself. Click search. Now we have 5,000 returns, so this is a lot. Now, one thing that you can do, again, is use your features on the left-hand side to limit your results. I would leave this as a relevant search if I were you. Changing it to most recent first, which some students like to do, can bring you some things that are a little bit off topic, but were recently published, and that's usually not what you want. Now, I am going to narrow this a little bit just by, again, sticking with things in our decade. So I'm going to do that. And click Update. That takes us down from 5,000 things to roughly 500 things because we've applied this filter for that particular date range. Now, let's say you specifically wanted a report as opposed to a scholarly article or a dissertation or a book. If you wanted just reports, you could do include, and you really shouldn't have to do exclude on everything else. I'm just doing it for the sake of thoroughness. Apply. And now everything here is a report. Some of these things will be government reports, and then some things will be reports from nonprofits and those sorts of things. But everything here is a report. The unfortunate thing is that we're not likely to have our full text within the database in ERIC a lot of the times. In sociological abstracts, though, which is also a ProQuest database, a lot of times you will have your full text there, a lot of times you will not. But when you run into issues where the full text is not there, what you can try to do is copy a document URL, and if this is not successful, then put in an interlibrary loan request. So let's see if this is going to be successful. Yeah, this just gets me back here, in this case, to the record. So if you do not have the full text here, you do have the information needed to fill out an interlibrary loan request, which I explained in video number 1. So you would go ahead and do that. You need any assistance, reach out to us at the library. That is why we are here. Now, the last thing that I want to show in these tutorial videos is going to be JSTOR. JSTOR covers all subjects, but JSTOR is a collection of things that are usually 4 years old or older. So the new stuff does not appear in JSTOR. This is a dump, a collected dump of things that have gotten a little bit of age on them. So if you want to find some older things, kind of set up a historical context, can do it through JSTOR. Now the JSTOR searches are not as powerful, and that's what I want you all to keep in mind. So you will get a lot of returns in JSTOR, and there will often be a lot of things to wade through. One thing you can do to try to cap that would be to list things that are item title. However, doing that might get you no results. So let's see. All 126 things here are going to be things that mention both elementary and counseling in the title, and that can be very helpful. If I were not to do that, instead of 126 things, I would have, just to show you, I would instead have nearly 20,000 things. Now, once you are narrowed to this level, another thing you can do is you can come to the left as you could previously, and you can limit yourself by subject type. So all 126 things here are cataloged for education, and most of them, 118 of the 126, are also subject cataloged for psychology. So now we're down to 118 results. You could always click on a topic and do a new search of the specific topic. But once you see something you like, if you liked, for instance, this elementary school counseling article, this actually should not, there we go. You can click on it and you will be brought to the full text immediately. You also have this option to download the full text. Okay? Those are the basics. Also, if you need your stable URL or your permalink, you can get that here. So that's what I recommend you use when creating your references page in APA. So those are the basics. If you need anything else, just reach out to us at the library, and we are very happy to help. And the way you can do that is from the library homepage, library.umkc.edu. Select Contact Us. We have 24/7 chat. We can also be called, emailed, or you can find one of your happy librarians in the staff directory. And again, my name is Jason. I am in the Teaching and Learning Department. And the Teaching and Learning Department is where you want to go to find the public services librarians, including myself. And this is a rundown of who we are. My supervisor, Marty, as well as the rest of us in alphabetical order by last name. So there you have it. I am Jason Austin, signing off.